Is that still in the cards? Or will the players' ego not allow them to agree to this deal? Is a 50-50 rev share split the hill that they want to die on? Are they saying, you know what? You can give us whatever offer you want to give us. We're not going to accept anyway. Because if they don't accept this deal, what more can the owners give up?
On that tone you're hearing, it's not excitement. It's the sound of someone who cannot believe the Players Association might walk away from what the WNBA just put on the table. The league rolled out an offer that, under normal circumstances, would end negotiations instantly. Max contracts shooting past $1.1 million, minimum salaries rising from $78,000 to $220,000, average pay landing around for $160,000, and somehow the union's leadership still isn't ready to lock this in. Which leaves us with the most obvious question possible: what exactly are they still pushing for?
NBA's current CBA proposal includes a max salary of more than $1.1 million. We heard reports of $1 million. We heard reports of $850,000. And now we're hearing $1.1 million, the biggest number yet. I don't know what they're paying these ladies in Unrivaled, but that seems more than competitive. Much more.
Let's actually break down the numbers. Under the current CBA, which expires November 30th, rookies are guaranteed just $78,000, and bench vets make barely $62,000. Top-tier players cap out at roughly $241,000. This new proposal doesn't merely bump those figures, it vaporizes them. A rookie making $78,000 today would jump 180% under the new system. The max salary would explode by nearly 400%. Deals like that aren't the product of slow, painful negotiations. That reads like a league saying, "This is every dollar we can realistically offer without sinking our franchises."
Maybe Project B is putting some pressure on the WNBA, like, you know what? We got to offer $1 million contracts. You know what? We got to give them $1 million contracts. We at least want to retain some of these ladies. If anything, Project B is the alternative after the WNBA season. That's what they're thinking. If anything, Project B is the alternative after the WNBA season. They're not going to go to the Euro League. They're not going to go play in Australia. They're going to go play in Project B. Get your $1 million here. Get your $1 million over there in Project B. Unrivaled seems... I don't have their finances, but this can very well price Unrivaled
And
out of the
here's
market.
the real weight behind the proposal. Revenue sharing. That's been the Players Association's core demand since opting out of the CBA in 2024. And the league isn't giving them a symbolic version, it's offering an actual revenue split that grows over time. So the players are getting the structure they asked for, the raises they insisted on, and the financial stability they've been requesting for years. But there's a twist barely being whispered about publicly: the three main figures bargaining on behalf of the players are tied financially to competing leagues. Nika Ogwumike, the PA president, invested early in Project B. Brina Stewart and Nafisa Collier, the vice presidents, co-founded Unrivaled, a 3-on-3 league beginning this January. Meaning the negotiators shaping the WNBA's future have money tied up in leagues that stand to gain if the WNBA doesn't become too profitable. That's a conflict you can't ignore.
Negotiating for yourself. You're negotiating for the other 170 plus ladies in the league. You're negotiating for the Juju Watkins coming in. You want Juju Watkins to come in and not have an American professional league to go to? That seems very selfish. You want Sarah Strong to come in and not have a professional league to go to? You want Hannah Doggo to come in and not have a professional league to go to? You want Malaysia Fawawi to come in and not have a professional league to go to? You want AZ Foot to come in and not have a professional league to go to? You want to make them dance with one arm behind their back like a circus clown in Unrivaled? You want to have them make a moral choice whether they want to go to Project B?
Now think about how that conflict plays out in reality. If Unrivaled blows up, Stewart and Collier cash in at a level the WNBA simply cannot match. If Project B finds its footing, Agumike's investment could pay off massively. But those scenarios rely on one key variable. The WNBA cannot become too successful, too stable, or too financially rewarding. A WNBA max pushing past $1 million, plus the endorsement exposure that comes from being in. The biggest, most visible women's basketball league in the world rewrites every calculation. Suddenly, Unrivaled isn't a primary income stream. It's an off-season option. If players even bother, Project B becomes more of a curiosity than a necessity. And then look at the players who aren't sitting at that executive table Dana Evans grinding for minutes in Chicago. Michaela Onion were competing for a rotation role in New York. Dejounte Carrington finally emerging as a key piece in Connecticut. These players don't own a piece of any competing league. They don't have the endorsement deals that cushion superstars. Their livelihood depends almost entirely on the WNBA, and they need their league to pay them.
Taking money out of their mouth. You're not doing them a favor. You're doing them a disfavor. Let's get right into it. WNBA latest CBA proposal would put max salary over $1.1 million with revenue sharing, AP source says. Let's get into it. The WNBA's latest collective bargaining proposal would include revenue sharing with a maximum salary of more than $1.1 million.
That urgency matters because of what's coming next. J.U. Watkins becomes draft eligible in 2026. Paige Bueckers, assuming her health holds, arrives. In 2025, Hannah Hidalgo, Malaysia Fulwiley, and Nisa Morrow, the next wave of talent is already building massive popularity and preparing to go pro. If the 2026 season disappears because negotiations collapse, those players face a brutal decision: sit out a year hoping the WNBA fixes things, losing time and money, or sign with whatever alternative league offers them a paycheck. That would fracture the talent pool and could damage their visibility long-term simply by not playing in the sport's Premier League. This isn't theoretical when the CBA deadline hit on October 31st. Both sides agreed to push the talks to November 30th. That extension didn't happen automatically. Both parties had to openly admit that blowing up negotiations would cause serious, possibly irreversible harm to the league. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert said at the 2025 All-Star Game that she fully expected a landmark agreement to be ready to celebrate by the 2026 All-Star Weekend.
Looking out for Michaela Timpsons of the world, the Damaris Dantises of the world, the Julie Alamans of the world, the De'Erica Hambys, the Azurá Stevens. Are you looking out for them? Or are you guys only looking out for your little fan club, the executive board of the Players Association? You guys only looking out for your little selves? Are you guys looking out for, I don't know, a Rebecca Allen, a Marina Mabry, an Ari McDonald? People familiar with the WNBA's latest proposal describe the plan to the AP as a highly lucrative package, providing substantial increases over
Comparison to Project B shows why the WNBA is feeling real pressure. Unrivaled is offering $100,000 just for participating in their 6-week Miami-based season. That's already more than what some players currently earn for an entire WNBA year. Project B, meanwhile, is trying to position itself as a full-season alternative with salaries that rival or exceed current WNBA pay. The WNBA's counterpunch make themselves financially unbeatable. A player making over $1 million annually, while gaining exposure on national TV, mainstream sports media, and growing sponsorships, isn't walking away to play for a startup with limited visibility. This proposal essentially tells Unrivaled, you can exist, but you'll be our off-season playground, not our competitor, and it tells Project B, you won't poach our stars. We're paying them more than you ever could.
big salaries. I'm telling you right now, if I'm Caitlin Clark, if I'm Asia Wilson, I am calling these ladies. I don't know if Caitlin Clark's gonna do that, but if I'm Asia Wilson, I'm calling Nafisa Collier, Brianna Stewart, Aneka Ogwumike, and I'm putting my foot up their ass. Seriously. Guys, my dream is not to play in fucking Project B. My dream is not to play it unrivaled. I'm putting my foot up their fucking ass. If I'm Asia, I'm swallowing my pride and I am calling Sabrina. I'm swallowing my pride and I'm calling Caitlyn. We gotta be on a unified front. The three of us gotta be on a unified front. And we gotta go head to head with those three and let them know we're not taking part in this bullshit that you guys are taking part in. We don't want to do Project B.
Should alarm anyone who genuinely cares about women's basketball, not because the stars would struggle. A'ja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Caitlin Clark, they'd all land on their feet. Unrivaled would cut big checks. Overseas leagues would tailor contracts just for them, they'll be fine. But the league itself, the ecosystem that took nearly 3 decades to build, the TV deals placing WNBA games on ESPN and ABC in primetime, the growing sponsorship ecosystem finally treating the league seriously, all of that disappears if there's number 2026 season. And the players who'd be hit the hardest aren't the household names, it's the minimum salary grinders, the rookies just hoping to start their careers. The vets hanging on for one more season to secure their pension, they are the ones who need Agumike, Stewart, and Collier to set aside their business interests and negotiate for the entire group, not for Unrivaled's revenue goals, not for Project B's success, but for the 140 for WNBA jobs that depend on this deal getting done.